Hello, everybody, and welcome. So, this has been buzzing around the internet for a little while, especially the last few days. And the question is, did Tim Kennedy steal valor? So, the title of this video is Tim Kennedy announces he is a victim of Green Beret bullying. So, this is one person's opinion. I have a little bit of background on this, and I'll give you a little bit of my opinion along the way. But let's take a good look at this.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody, for another episode of The Real Housewives of Special Forces. Today, we're going to be talking about war hero, Special Forces sniper, Green Beret, Tim Kennedy, and his absolutely savage rebuttal to the accusations made by the Anti-Hero podcast. Now, before we jump into the video, we have a lot of new subscribers and followers of the channel following this crazy drama over the last week. And I've seen a lot of comments about how I'm just a jealous hater who's out to make a name for himself. So, for those of you who didn't know, let's talk about what Valhalla VFT's YouTube channel is. Okay? I talk about the realities of special forces, what goes on behind the scenes, and I do a lot of defending prominent, famous special operators when they get accused for stuff.
Well, that's really good of them. And the thing of it is like stolen valor is really weird because I don't know how in this day and age you could even get away with it. I mean, we have access to records, we have access to people that have served with you. So the idea of like trying to say you did something or got something that you didn't is kind of weird, and I don't really understand why anyone even talks about it to begin with.
Opposite of what's happening here with Tim Kennedy. So, here's the receipts. You can go back through my YouTube channel yourself and see. When Mike Glover was facing his legal battles, when everyone on the entire internet came after him, I was the first person and the first Green Beret to come out, stand behind him, defend him, and make content sticking my neck and my reputation out on behalf of him.
Good for you.
Now, why would I do that? And when Eric Deming came out and accused Jocko of war crimes and Chris Kyle and Luttrell, when every other podcast was airing it, what did I do? I came out and defended all of those guys, including Jocko, multiple times. So
Good.
If I'm just out to tear down other veterans, why the hell have I spent so much time defending other soft veterans? That's
Okay.
a logic brain puzzle that is so hard to figure out, right?
So he's got some receipts for that, so that's good.
The reality is, I also defended Tim Kennedy and supported Tim Kennedy. I liked Tim Kennedy until, like you all, I saw the Anti-Hero podcast. And as a Green Beret, watching that, I realized very quickly, this is all bullshit.
Oh, no.
I felt like I had, the wool pulled over my eyes just like the rest of you did. Okay? So, I'm not out here to tear down other veterans. I'm here to talk about veterans who do this type of shit. And there's only one. And that's the other thing, guys. Now, if, Tim Kennedy, he's come out, and we're going to talk about his rebuttal here in a second, but he's the victim in all this. And these Green Berets, all these Green Berets are just bullies.
Not to make nothing of nothing, I noticed the flag behind him there. That's interesting. The little tiny Filipino flag back there.
They're just bullies that are trying to make a name for themselves off the back of Tim Kennedy. Now, if that's the case, why aren't there any other Green Berets going after and attacking any other prominent Green Beret? Yeah. Nobody's attacking Mike Glover. Nobody's attacking Mike Waltz, who's a congressman. Nobody's attacking any of these prominent Green Berets, including myself. So why is it just poor Timmy? Well, turns out, when you commit stolen valor, even if you're a Green Beret, the Green Beret community doesn't like it. And what you guys might not see is behind the scenes right now in the Green Beret community, it is a fucking firestorm.
Okay.
Everybody is up in arms. I can assure you that. Now, we're going to go through some of these clips, and we're going to talk about it. Okay? Because this rebuttal was basically 10 minutes of gaslighting. He addressed nothing from the actual really nasty things, allegations, right? Like the obvious stolen valor, we'll talk about that. His claims, you know, that he killed 20 people from a sniper tower in Flaubon, all these ridiculous things. He didn't talk about those, right?
I hope he didn't really claim to do a lot of stuff he didn't really do, because I mean, you really can fact check some of the stuff. And the thing is, like, someone like him, he doesn't really have to, you know, pad his story. And if you came out with a book, man, and you know, those are words, dude, like there's no coming back from that, man. So
let's jump into it. Let's show the first clip, and he leads with it. That he's letting you know why he's being accused of stolen valor. So let's take a look.
They made accusations that I embellished things in the book to make myself look bigger than I am, and they accused me of stolen valor. They did this to keep veterans accountable, you know, and to like hold a standard.
So yes, Tim, people want accountability. You're being accused of stolen valor because you committed stolen valor. And I'm not going to talk about your war stories. I'm not going to talk about any other of that bullshit. We're going to talk strictly, and this is the thing I've messaged you about. I've asked for an apology on behalf of Green Berets about.
Oh, wow.
We talked about it on the podcast. We've shown your posts. I'll put it up on the screen again. Where you state, I have received medals of valor on every combat rotation I've been on.
Oh, wow.
Well, Tim,
on every one of them?
Everybody's seen your DD-214 at this point. You have no medals of valor. You don't even have any C devices, let alone B devices.
Hold on. So he claimed to get one on every one, and he doesn't have one of them?
And we've seen your dress uniforms. There's no V's. There's no C's. That is stolen valor. You are claiming to have valor awards that you don't have.
Oh, no.
You need to apologize for that. I don't care to apologize for anything else. The reason why, some of us have real valor awards, including dead Green Berets who earned those valor awards in the line of duty. You lying about that is a slap in the face to every dead, not just Green Beret, but veteran who earned valor awards in combat in the line of duty.
Let me tell you something. One thing I know about most people that are in a fight, they're pretty humble about it. And I hope that's not what's really happening here.
You owe an apology. I haven't seen that yet. I don't care about anything else. Apologize for that. Now, let's move to the next thing where I think he's more talking about, well, he better be talking about how he's just being attacked for the financial gain and the notoriety, and how only their biggest content is just going after people. Okay, let's take a watch.
They do financially better when they go after people with big followings.
This can't apply to my channel because I'll show you all my best and biggest videos right here on the screen. What are they? Well, they have nothing to do with attacking people. They all are about life in special forces, right? And in fact, a bunch of my biggest videos have been me defending special operators. The literal opposite of that. So, and you're talking about financial gain. The people you're talking about are retired military. They'll have pensions. They'll have jobs. They'll make plenty of money. Nobody needs their money off the back of you. And when we talk about doing things for financial gain,
yeah, for real,
you do it more than anybody. I know how much you charge to go speak in front of a group of Green Berets. It's not for free. It's not out of the goodness of your heart when you go do veteran speeches, is it? Okay? So let's not get into the grifting conversation. Now, what we're going to get into next, it's unfortunate because he went to clear the air and he ended up lying more. His sniper school story and his Sephardic story. We're going to talk about those two things, okay? Because census has come out, and what's so crazy is this is a small community. Tim thinks that we don't know people that he was in the Q course with, that he went to sniper school with, that
right?
He went to Sephardic with.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
With. It's a very small community. That's how these things get fact checked so easily.
Right.
You can reach out to the NCOIC of Sephardic.
Yeah, and well, the thing is, like, you do have a lot of documentation to back up or not back up what's going on. There are haters in the military. You know, we've all had it when you're in there, especially, you know, when people talk about some of the things that they've done. But, there's ways to check on this stuff. There really is.
And ask about how many times you actually went there, don't you think? So, let's take a watch as Tim tells a new version of a sniper school story where he finally admits to actually failing sniper school, just like the Hero podcast said he did. Let's take a watch.
When I got my sniper school date, it was going to be 10 days before my own wedding. So I asked Sergeant Major Fernandez, Conrad Fernandez, if I could go to a different class. Man, and he gave me a tough pill to swallow. He says, yeah, man, but what you have to do is you have to show up on day one, because if you no-show, we will lose our slot to a future course. And show up and you're going to have to fail.
Now, I want to say, the way he's explaining, for people who don't understand how it works behind the scenes for schools in Special Forces, yes, this is how it works. Companies get slots, okay? You get some slots of sniper school, dive school, halo school, mountain school, all these different things, okay? And you only get allotted a certain number of slots for the company. That's what he's talking about here.
Right.
Yes, it can be, it's very important to fill those slots when you get them, otherwise you lose them in the future typically. So he's not wrong. But what he says here is his sergeant major tells him that he has to go to the school and fail so that way they don't lose a slot. The slot is not dedicated to Tim Kennedy. The slot is dedicated to the company. And you're going to tell me that out of another 144 guys in the company, not a single one of them could go fill the sniper school slot, a very desired school by Green Berets?
That doesn't really make sense. Like, why did you have to go? I mean, if it didn't really make sense. I don't know, was it a last minute thing? That's kind of weird.
That they just had to send you to go fail?
Yeah, that's weird.
Come on.
And then, how many times can you fail a school and they continue to let you go? It just seems like a waste of time and a waste of money.
Now, the next one. Sparticle. Again, Tim, I know people that were in your class, and I know them intimately. I went to war with them.
Jeez.
And they reached out to me and they told me about being in Sparticle with you. So let's see what you had to say about Sparticle.
They had to have the skills that were taught during Sparticle. They've never sent an entire company before. I was already in C37, but you have to be a Sparticle graduate to be in C37. So this was my class to go to Sparticle. They didn't issue anybody the identifier for completing that Sparticle class because they taught an entire company. So went to Iraq, came back, and went back to Sparticle and graduated a second time. It's pretty awesome.
We'll skip this.
AZ Blue has health plans that make sense. $0 per month premium health plan.
Interesting. So what he's explaining there, I think what he's trying to say is when we do a company-sized train up, it's a Safawick. Okay, it's much like Sparticle, but it's a whole different thing. Now, I'm not saying that's necessarily, I'm assuming that's what he's sort of talking about here, but it may not be. But the reality is he said he went twice, he passed twice. Now, Tim, if you went only twice and you passed both times, how come someone, again, I know intimately, that was in the CRIF, that I went to war with, that was in your class, reached out and told me that you were in his class and you failed the shoot-in at the end. And you failed the class and you did not graduate with that class. Why did you omit that story? No one cares.
Right.
It's just, again...
The thing of it is that this seems like a lot of this could have been solved with you just qualifying or quantifying your statements. You could say to, I don't know. There's just ways to make statements to where it's not like, this is what for sure happened. And, if you're making these definitive statements and then you're getting called out on it, it's kind of your fault.
You came out with a rebuttal and you just lied more, man. I don't get it. And here's the thing. For me, all I wanted as a Green Beret, and again, multi-generational Green Beret, was... Because, again, this has been a huge stain on the Green Beret community and reputation, having it come out that the most prominent Green Beret out there has done all these things, right? All I wanted, and all most of us wanted, and I've talked to dozens of Green Berets who agree, was for you to simply come out and apologize and say, I am sorry. I embellished stories in my book so that it would be more exciting and entertaining for the reader. I shouldn't have done that, and I apologize. Boom, that's it. This whole thing would have gone away for you. Gone. Guys at the Anti-Hero Podcast, they wouldn't do another episode because you took some accountability. You had some integrity.
Yeah, there would be no point. Yeah.
But you didn't. You started accusing other people of having no integrity. And that's why they're attacking you.
Let me tell you something. I say this all the time. You can call me a bitch 1,000 times, but don't call me a liar. So, especially military guys, we take integrity really seriously. So, you know, once you lose your integrity, you've lost everything, to be honest with you, all your respect. So, I get that.
It's not going to work. So, I'm letting you guys know that this is the last episode I'll do on Tim Kennedy.
Okay.
So for all those of you who think, oh, you're just trying to make a name off the back of Tim Kennedy, there's a month plus more content to come out with. All the SF guys that were in the Q course with him, went to schools with him, went to war with him, that have reached out and told me stories.
There's probably going to be a lot more.
Real stories about these stories. I could do content for a month.
Yeah.
Huge numbers content. But I'm not going to do that because for me, this story is closed. And it's not going to be for him because I know other Green Berets are not putting this down.
Yeah.
And that is, it's over for me because I got what I wanted out of it. And that was him to take the consequences of his actions. You might think, no, he's not going to. He'll be fine. He will be fine in the civilian community that has no idea and they don't know better and they just glorify him for the persona that he's put on. That's fine. I actually don't have any ill will against him.
Listen, the internet is undefeated, man. The truth comes out and, you know, how it affects people and how it really, you know, does the X, Y, and Z. And I don't think anyone's trying to take away anyone's livelihood or anything like that. They just want honesty. So, you know.
I don't want to see him lose his livelihood. I don't want to see him pulled out of the public sphere. I want him to be honest and have some integrity. All right, I don't want him to see him get his tab pulled or anything like that, although I will say there's a lot of rumors going around that could be a possibility. So, but again, the reason why it's over for me is because he's going to be fine in the civilian world, and that's fine. But his reputation is forever destroyed in the Green Beret community.
Oh, no.
Forever. There's no coming back. 99% of Green Berets who don't know him personally and they're his friend and influenced by him. And trust me, I know because, again, the back channels of the Green Beret community. His reputation's gone. It's destroyed. He'll never be able to come to a Green Beret event and not have every single Green Beret in there looking at him.
That's tough.
Like a fraud.
Oh, no.
To me, as a Green Beret, when the regiment is one of the most important things to me, that is far, far worse if it happened to me than losing my public persona. I don't think it is for him. I don't think he gives a shit about the SF community, to be honest. But it's over, right? So
I hope that's
it's
not
also
true.
over for me. So those of you who want to call me a grifter for money, you'll see. Like, I'm not doing any more Tim Kennedy content. But just wanted to do this last one. Put it out there. And yeah, it's unfortunate. I'm disappointed. I was really hoping that he was going to have a set of balls on him, come out, and just say, I'm sorry. And not necessarily, he didn't even need to say, I'm sorry to everyone, but say, I'm sorry to the Green Beret community for lying about the stories and the Valor Awards that my brothers earned for real.
Listen, and I share that sentiment a little bit. Is whenever someone says they've been in combat or they've been affected by combat or you know, they did X, Y, and Z, in the back of my mind, the first thing I'm thinking was, I really hope that's true. Because it's so uncomfortable and so weird when people talk about shit they didn't really do.
And that would have been good enough. But that's not going to happen. And we know that now from his response.
Oh, no.
You guys can all enjoy. This ain't over in the public sphere. I can tell you there's lots more coming. But I'll be just a viewer on the sides from now on. We'll get back to what this channel is all about. Positivity.
Cool. I will
talking
subscribe.
about, you know, the good things, the bad things, what life in Special Forces is like, the comedy, right?
That's
Current
always
events,
fun. Yeah.
all the good stuff. That's going to do it for this one. Catch you on the next one.
Well, that's the video. And, you know, I have some strong opinions about this. I don't really like people saying that they did. Like when I first started my channel, I told you my whole resume. And I really don't like people saying they did shit that they didn't really do. You know what I mean? And it's not even necessary in this day and age. Everyone is, you know, wants to hear an opinion from all different levels. You don't have to be like the greatest, baddest dude for someone to listen to you. People want opinions at every different level. So it's kind of silly for, you know, I don't know, this kind of tactic. So I really hope this isn't what's going on. It looks really bad. But tell me what you think, and I appreciate your time.